So go ahead and start off with Yu Darvish. And you said there was a smile on his face yesterday after he played catch yesterday. But how did he come out of that feeling?
I think he felt good. He's again recovered well today, and take it today and see what tomorrow looks like. But we're progressing and still getting our hands around, arms around what exactly everything's going on with him. But if he's playing catch and he's feeling good, then we'll continue to take it next step.
I know it's still early with everything with Michael King, but is there any update on him?
There's really not. I know he's going to get, again, we're in a little bit of uncharted territory. This isn't a very common, thing that takes place. Our crack medical team, which are amazing, are working with our team doctors, which are also amazing, and some experts just to figure out exactly what's going on. And he's getting some incremental improvement. So from what I understand, clearly improvement is important initially, and anytime somebody gets injured or hurt, but I think it's especially important with this particular, what he's dealing with. And so that's encouraging, more so. But yeah, we're doing some testing, further testing, getting some really qualified people and experts in the field for this to look at it, and we'll know more hopefully sooner than later, but that's all we know at the moment.
As far as Manny Machado, you look at some of his numbers this season, the average is top 5 in the NL. What have you thought about kind of Manny's offensive season as a whole, some of the numbers he's been able to put up?
It's just a really special talent that's going in a good spot consistently. And it is interesting, though, and it's worth pointing out that, I had similar microphones pointed in my face 5 days ago, and I got different questions. But my answers still remain the same, and that's the confidence that is a generational talent like Manny Machado that is in a good place mentally, physically, and performance is not guaranteed in this game. But when you have the ability he has, the consistency he has, you're going to get the most consistent, ability to get positive results, and he's been able to do that.
To dive into the generational talent part of Manny, you look at where he is, he's nearly at 350 home runs, he's almost at 2,000 hits. You look at the list of guys that have done that before the end of their age 32 season. It's 8 Hall of Famers, 3 amazing players after that. It gives you a level of appreciation for who he is, right?
Yeah, it's rarefied air. He's getting in listen, we're in the rarefied air as it is. Morgan made his debut last night, number 23,480, I believe is the number. So it's hard enough to be one of 23,480 in the history of Major League Baseball that fills up half of Petco Park, in a 160-year sport. And now you're talking about getting into the top 1% of that, and that's what Manny is doing and will continue to do, and it's pretty impressive.
But you said that the King injury was not a common thing. What, from your understanding, is what's uncommon about it?
It's just more, in the the scap area. It's not overly structural. So we're trying to figure out what's taking place with it, and so to the fact that we're still diagnosing it makes it uncommon.
Is there any understanding of how it came about? Is that part of it?
He literally slept on it wrong and woke up, and he played catch, threw great. As we do, one of the things we do well, the industry does well, but we do especially well is we create really strong baselines and understanding, and are constantly testing and so aware of players' flexibility, their strength. Now the stuff during the course of games, release heights and spin rates and what their bullpens look like, and so we track all that extremely well, use it very effectively. So the point I'm getting at is all of us tracking in a very good place for Michael, and has been quite candidly since he's been here. There's been some modifications and some improvement to it that he gets the credit for, but so the day before was like all systems go, and the next morning wakes up and he's dealing with what he's dealing with, so that makes it unusual as well.
He hasn't thrown or tried to throw or
He did pick up some plyo balls prior to that, but that was more just to double, triple check that this isn't going to happen today, but let's give it the old professional effort, not the college effort. And so he did it, and here we are.
Like Luis had that kind of an off day yesterday from starting, a bit of a rest. Given some of Fernando's recent struggles, any thought giving him a rest day or even down anymore?
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, I talk to these guys all the time about how they feel. Part of Jeff's question is if you can show up and play the game, if you're ready to go put your energies into the game, is that going to be enough, or do you need a day off? There's conversations about that. The other thing is, to Sam's question about Manny is 10 days ago, no one would ask that about Fernando as far as like putting him down in the lineup. 6 days ago, people would ask that about Manny, and now they're asking about Manny being on pace to be an MVP player and a Hall of Famer. So I do understand the question completely, but I come from not an overreaction place, or an underreaction that's mostly surfaced well and knows the game's hard and that Fernando's a generational talent and he's contributing in other ways to our team that I see at least defensively and in other areas, and he's taken some at-bats that haven't gone his way, and I expect him to be able to come out of it and we work together and see what that looks like. That help you? Ish? That's my best shot.
No, I get it.
Yeah.